Yo, what's up everybody? Jumping here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys one of my favorite builds in Mass Effect Andromeda, the Krogan Mercenary. Now you might be surprised by that, but I really love the Mercenary. He's a lot of fun to play, and he has some really amazing powers, and it's really great. Now I'm not going to show gameplay for this because I've already showed the Turian Agent with Flamethrower, and the Turian Havoc with Flat Cannon. But this build's kind of a combination of the two because Flat Cannon and Flamethrower are excellent powers. So let's go ahead and get started with this, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about this build. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started with the weapon. Now I'm going to recommend two different types of weapon. One being a powerful weapon and one being a fast shooting weapon. So the Hurricane is an excellent choice for your faster firing weapon. If not though, the Equalizer or any assault rifle that can fire fast is a really good choice. Now for your more powerful gun, I definitely would recommend the Hesh. I think the Hesh is definitely one of the best shotguns in the entire game, and it works really well on every build. But the whole idea is that you can actually debuff the enemies with a faster firing gun, and then swap over to your more powerful weapon to finish them off. And generally, you really only want to do that when you come across boss level enemies. If you're fighting like the basic enemies, you can kind of just stick with the faster firing gun. This build has some of the best stunning ability in the entire game. You can stun fucking everything, and it's amazing because of that. So it's really easy to hit the enemies with your weapons. So you don't really need to worry about missing and stuff like that, because you should be able to stun those enemies and then take them out no problem. Now when it comes to the equipment, I'm going to recommend the engineering kit, although you could use enhanced munitions as well, because Flat Cannon is really good and Flamethrower is really good. I just think that Flamethrower is a little bit better, so I'm going to recommend the engineering kit over enhanced munitions, but you can also go ahead and increase the damage of your weapon if that's what you want to do as well. Now moving on to the booster, I'm going to recommend the Universal Power Amp for this one. Now the reason why I recommend this is because you want to pretty much up the damage of Flat Cannon and Flamethrower if possible. And a lot of people have a lot of Universal Power Amps and they never use them because they're not that good. But they are good if you have a build that has two different types of power and you want to boost that. So I really wish that they actually would come out with an equipment that is just like the Universal Power Amp that will boost all power damage by 15% or something like that. Now when it comes to the other booster, I normally will always just boost whatever weapon I'm going to be using. So if it's an assault rifle, I'll boost that. If it's a pistol, I'll boost that. But normally throughout the match, I'm going to stick with my faster firing gun to take out most of the mob level enemies. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started with the build. Now you might notice Rage is really low. You have two versions of this build. You have your Flamethrower and Rage build, and then you also have your Flat Cannon and Flamethrower build. So it's up to you on which one you want. I personally do feel like Flamethrower and Flat Cannon are really good because both powers are excellent, and I really do like it a lot. I definitely would say you always want to get Fortify if possible. But if you're going to go for the Rage build instead, you can go ahead and skip out on Flat Cannon. That's what I would say you might want to skip out on. And if you're going to max out Rage, what you want to do is go for the health and the shields. And this perk right here is what makes Rage kind of good. Okay, it's the only thing about Rage I actually like. Because what this does, it actually will give you health regeneration so that you can actually get your health fully back, which is really nice. But the main thing is the shield delay reduction. It's health and shield. But the shield one is the one that really matters, 50%. So for 45 seconds, when you have Rage, because that's how long Rage will last, you will actually have 50% more delay reduction for your shield. That will stack with Fortify, which will also give you a 40% delay reduction. So you have a 90% delay reduction. That's really, really good. So this is the only perk in Rage I really like. And then the final one is really important because this will allow Rage to trigger anytime you're about to die. You don't actually have to run around and melee enemies and stuff. And it will also increase the duration of Rage by 50%, which will make Rage last for about 45 seconds. So yes, I do think the Rage build is actually kind of nice, and it will make the Mercenary more beefy. You will like never fucking die. So you do have the option of getting Fortify to 5, Flat Cannon to 3, which is not bad honestly, and then maxing out Rage, Flamethrower, and then also the training. So that's one build. And now I'm going to show you the other build because this build I think is a little bit better because the amount of stun that you can put on the enemies is insane with this build. Now let's go ahead and get started with Flamethrower. Now for this build, I recommend damage over recharge speed. Now the reason why I recommend that is because you have a lot of ability to stun enemies with flat cannon and also flamethrower. When I showed the Turian agent build, I was talking about that you could do a power build with that one or the weapon build. Now personally, I prefer the weapon build because you use flamethrower to stun enemies and then you shoot them to death. You can do the same thing with this build. You stun them with the flamethrower, you debuff them with the flamethrower, and then you shoot them to death. But you don't really need the recharge speed because you have flat cannon. If they are not stunned, just shoot a flat cannon at them and it will stun them and then shoot them to death. Or you can stun them first with flat cannon and then use flamethrower on them to fucking melt them. So it's really up to you, but for this build, I recommend the damage. I think it's actually really nice. Next up, definitely go for the range, because although it says damage radius, I don't know why BioWare does this with their text, it's really confusing. It is actually range. If you read the left side, it says increases the flamethrower's range. So this is a 50% range bonus, not a radius bonus. And then finally, blinding heat. This will debuff the enemies. And yes, the Mercenary is extremely tanky, although he's a Krogan. I really do feel like Krogans in this game are like Drells from Mass Effect 3. But because of blinding heat, because of fortify, and also because of rage, if you decide to max that out, this motherfucker is extremely tanky. Do you really need the rage to make this good? No, because you have so much stunning potential, the chance of the enemies killing you where you can constantly stun them is really, really low. So that's one of the reasons that I feel like the flat cannon and flamethrower build is just better than the rage build. Now for fortify, definitely just go for all the beefiness. I like to go for the damage resistance and also the shield regen bonus. The main thing about this is the delay reduction, 40%. This is always, you will always have a 40% delay reduction. This makes a huge difference that you will tell right away once you have this. You're like, damn, that's crazy. And if you do want to, you can go ahead and go for the rage and also get this bonus 50%, which can go up to 90%, which is even crazier. Now for flat cannon, I recommend damage. I recommend stun. This is amazing. The stun is so good. It works against everything besides the boss enemies. That's it. You can stun armor targets. You can stun berserkers. You can stun all of the normal enemies. And it's really, really nice. And then after that, I recommend going for the bigger explosion, because the bigger explosion means more stunning, and that is awesome. Now for the training, I actually recommend power damage, because both powers are really good, and it's 20%. That's really nice. You also get the extra power cell. So now you'll have 7 flat cannons. That's crazy. Like, it's really, really good. The weapon damage is nice because the whole idea of this build is to actually use your powers to stun and then to shoot the enemies. But the power damage, I personally feel like, is just a little bit better than the weapon damage. Next up, we're going to go for the reload speed, the clip size, and the spare ammo. This is an excellent perk. I really like the clip size bonus. I think that's the best. But the reload speed is also really nice. Although, I can never tell if it works or not. That's the thing. The clip bonus, you know for sure it works. The spare ammo, you know. But the reload speed, I can never really tell a difference personally. And then finally, I go for sustained fire for this build. Because like I said before, the idea is that you're going to use a fast firing gun. And this will debuff the enemies. Help yourself out. Help the team out. It's really, really good. Alrighty guys, that's pretty much my Krogan Mercenary build. This is a fantastic build. It works so well. If you guys want to try out the Mercenary, I definitely recommend it. Flat Cannon is actually a really amazing power once you learn how to use it. Flamethrower, of course, is amazing. Everybody knows that. It's one of the best powers in the entire game. The only downside of Flamethrower is that it does not work well against shields, but Flat Cannon works amazing against shields. So, if you see an enemy with a shield, shoot him with a flat cannon and then hit him with the flamethrower and you are good to go. This build, like I said, is absolutely fucking amazing. I love playing it. It's so much fun. If you haven't played the Mercenary, go and play the fucking Mercenary. Level this motherfucker up and try this build out. Trust me, you will not regret it. Alrighty guys, that's going to pretty much do it for the video. I really hope that you have enjoyed it and that it has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.